Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome back to another video here. My name is Wasted Potential, and today we are looking at all of the Big East basketball venues. A lot of big programs here, a lot of nice arenas. A couple things I just wanted to say before we get started here. For St. John's, we are looking at their secondary arena. They do play most of their games in Madison Square Garden, but I just didn't think that we'd get to see their arena any other way, because I'm probably not going to do women's basketball arenas for a little while. That is where their women's teams play, though. But any other situations like that, I'll probably be showing their secondary stadium. But actually, St. John's is really the only one I can think of off the top of my head. But anyways, let's hop straight into it. And to start off the list is Carnesecca Arena, home of St. John's. Opened in 1961, capacity of 5,600. So not surprising, it is the smallest one on here. As like I said, they do play a lot of their games in Madison Square Garden. Nonetheless, though, this is pretty well equipped with the center hung video board and a baseline hung video board. Both pretty nice. Overall, doesn't look bad. Not really any chairback seats, but like I said, this is primarily the women's basketball venue and like smaller athletics venues, so not super surprising there. Decent for in terms of the secondary venue. Not really a whole ton to talk about. Not super interesting on the outside. Pretty standard athletics building, but it is placed right on campus. And there it is. I like that with the lights. That's a pretty good view of the stadium with the crowd there. And then next on our list here is Finneran Pavilion, home of Villanova. Very well-known venue. I love the shape of it. It's just very unique. Gets updated frequently because, you know, Villanova is a pretty successful program. Nice corner hung video boards and then a center video board loop. Not sure if they've updated it with center jumbotrons or not yet, but I don't believe I saw that in any photos or anything. So mainly bleachers on the baselines, but it is nice seatback seats on each sideline, so that's really nice. And the seating goes up quite high. Gets really noisy in here the way the building's shaped. I mean, just look at these exterior photos. That's a super cool entranceway into there. It is right next to their football stadium, and just a really uniquely shaped arena, and draws huge crowds, and they get loud. So what more can you ask from a college basketball venue other than the home of Villanova here? And then up next on our list is another classic, Hinkle Fieldhouse. If you've ever seen Hoosiers, you know this one well. Home of Butler, opened in 1928, capacity of 9,100. Really good size for a program like this. This place gets noisy. I love how it's just like side, you know, it's kind of the opposite way that you'd put it. Because if you have an idea of the building, it's basically like a big barn. You'd think you'd place the long part of the court long ways in the barn, but this is, you know, on the short side of the barn, and allows just for walls of seating on every side. Mostly chairback seats, but as you can see on the baselines, it is metal bleachers, and then up in the higher level seatings on the sidelines, it is bleachers up there as well. It's not not as big of a school as some of these other programs, so that's that's a pretty good excuse for that. Lets in a lot of natural light, though, which we love to see. I love the ceiling in this place, the shape of it, and the materials used, and then a really nice quad set of center hung video boards. Overall, really solid venue here. Love the exterior look. I mean, that's what college basketball is all about, right by their football stadium and by some other stuff on campus there. And as you can see, they also pull in some big crowds. So I think this is the right size for a venue. And this is just a really solid venue for a like mid-upper tier level program. Although Butler is very competitive. I mean, you may even call them an upper tier program just for the size of the school. Up next, kind of speaking of that, is the home of UConn, national champions. Harry A. Gampel Pavilion, opened in 1990, capacity of just over 10,000. This is in order of capacity, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that before. Super nice venue. All the previously what was bleachers have been replaced with chairback seats. Nice size, nice shape to the venue. If anything, it's a little boring, but it's well equipped. Exterior is also kind of boring. Reminds me of like the Epcot building or the old Civic Arena in Pittsburgh. Is right on campus, though, right by a bunch of other nice buildings. So does add to the canvas aesthetic, which is always nice. And as you can see, always draws a big crowd at UConn. One complaint with it needs better either center hung video boards or baseline hung video boards. I don't really care which one because either could fit a venue like this, but they are lacking in that department. I'm sure with the money that's flowing in right now, they probably have plans for that in the future at UConn. And then up next on the list here, we do have the Cintas Center, home of Xavier, opened in 2000, capacity of 10,250. Overall, just like a mini pro-style arena, nice amount of luxury box suites, nice ceiling. Like, this is what you like to see in a modern arena. Decent center-hung video board set. I wish it was just 4 big screens instead of, all that action that you got going on in there with the ring video board and those smaller video boards at the bottom. I just don't like that personally, and I feel like I like a stadium that's all one lower bowl, especially if it's if it's under 13 or 14,000 people. You don't really have a reason for a second deck, I don't believe, but I get it. They want to bring those luxury box seats closer, and overall this does it pretty well. Nice concessions facilities and restroom facilities at this one. It is used for other professional events and entertainment events, so that's kind of to be expected here. And the exterior, much like you see for any city's multi-use indoor facilities. This is in Cincinnati, but it is located near all the stuff on campus. And there it is with a nice crowd there. I do like that update that they did to the one side. They did renovate that, and that looks really good on the one baseline. But overall, solid venue here, the Cintas Center. But, I feel like, if anything, it's a bit bland myself. Up next is Wintrust Arena, home of DePaul. Opened in 2017. Capacity of 10,387. Really nice arena. I mean, again, I wish it was all lower bowl, but that's my one complaint over this whole thing. Other than that, it's really well done. Like I said, it was just built in 2017, and overall, I love the look of it. The lighting's done really well. I love the ceiling. I love that center hung video board. I think that's really good. I don't mind those corner ones because it makes it look like it's one big video board, but I wish it was kind of 4 big video boards, but that's just me complaining. The court design is really nice on this too, and overall, the DePaul aesthetic just matches this arena really well. I love those double deck luxury boxes on that other sideline. That looks really good. And overall, the interior on this one is a 9 out of 10. It's really good. Exterior is, not over the top interesting, but it's pulled off really well, and I think it looks good. And I love that Chicago flag on top. That's really cool. And overall, the exterior is solid, but it's not anywhere near where the interior goes for me. And just another photo there. That's just such a fun looking arena. Really solid facility here for DePaul. Obviously, the food stands, concessions, and restrooms are all new. And from what I've read around, they look to be of pretty decent quality. But up next here, guys, we do have Amica Mutual Pavilion, home of Providence, opened in 1972, capacity of 12,400. This does host minor league hockey and other stuff, so it is a shared facility. I do believe Providence is the primary tenant, though. And this picture is a little bit older. Center hung video board has been updated a little bit. Other than that, though, as you can see, sometimes it's set up for hockey, like in this situation, so the seating isn't perfect on that one baseline. Just a little bit of complaining there. It's just not optimized for college basketball necessarily. Not terrible, though, because the second deck isn't too bad. It's not like a complete other level. It's almost like this is all one lower bowl, and they have a nice amount of luxury seating, as this does host some semi-professional and professional sports. Exterior is okay. Used to be called the Dunkin' Donuts Center. As you can see, it's just a pretty standard mid-tier city indoor use facility. As you can see, it does have a large extra bit there. I'm not sure if that's a convention center, or if that has something to do with Providence University. I'm not 100% sure, to be honest, but that is connected to Amica Mutual Pavilion. It's really hard to find good indoor pictures of this while Providence was playing there. I'm not really sure why. but it does seem that they draw some crowds, and as you can see in this photo, that is the updated center hung video board, so good quality there for them. And then up next here, we do have the CHI Health Center Omaha, home of Creighton, opened in 2003. Nice big capacity here of 18,320. Shows its early 2000s age a little bit, but overall I like this facility. Big lower bowl here, does have an upper deck, but once you get into the size, that's pretty excusable. Center hung video board setup leaves some room for improvement, but overall it's good and it's updated. And this could host, a professional basketball team temporarily. That's kind of what Omaha is going for, or hockey. So this is a really good quality facility, good restroom facilities, good food stands, stuff like that. That's important for the viewer experience. It is well done here, and overall the viewership experience is solid. I'm not sure how interesting playing here is because it doesn't really have anything that pops out to me. Like, it's just a pro style arena, really. Ceiling doesn't stand out to me. Exterior is updated and it looks good, but nothing really stands out to me that much. It's cool, but nothing that stands out to me very much. And then, but Omaha though, really competing, seems like they want a pro sports team, which I really support. Hopefully an NBA or NHL team. I know it's not a huge city, but they deserve it. I mean, just look at this photo, how much they turn out for Creighton. We saw them make a kind of deep run in the NCAA tournament this year, and it was a lot of fun, and you could see Creighton fans were out there supporting them. So good program there, and Omaha, a good city, really solid venue for Creighton. And then up next, we are going to start getting into all these professional arenas because these other programs just happen to share it with them. And as we start off with that, it is Marquette, Fiserv Forum in Milwaukee, opened in 2018, capacity of 18,850. And I'm sure many people know about Fiserv Forum, home of the Milwaukee Bucks. Solid arena, brand new to a couple years ago. Overall, just a boring lower bowl and smaller upper bowl design that's popular now in the NBA and NHL. Nice amount of luxury box seating, really not much to complain about, but in terms of what you like in a college venue, professional venues really don't give you that much because they get renovated or torn down and rebuilt so often. It just doesn't leave room for that heritage that college ball is all about. So that's why I really don't like this situation that much, but it's a beautiful, beautiful venue from the exterior. It does sit right next to a huge empty lot right now, but I'm pretty sure they're building something there, so that'll look good in the future. And updated facility, great food stands, great restroom facilities. It's made to hold a crowd well bigger than what Marquette usually pulls out, so, you can't complain about the venue at all, but it's just not super interesting to me personally because they're not the primary tenant, and it's a pro team that's a primary tenant, so of course the facility is going to be great. That's kind of why I was showing you St. John's Carnesecca Arena over Madison Square Garden, because it just wouldn't have been that interesting. Everybody knows Madison Square Garden. Same with the next one here, kind of Prudential Center, home of the New Jersey Devils, but also Seton Hall, opened in 2007, capacity of 18,711. Again, just really similar to Fiserv Forum in terms of the interior. Same kind of ceiling, same amount really of luxury box seatings, and the seating layout really isn't that different at all. Again, the quirkiness that you like to see in a college ball arena, these just don't have, and that's why they're the least interesting arenas in the Big East, in my opinion. Even though they have the largest seating capacity, which a lot of times can be a big draw to stadium lovers like myself, these ones, they have the updated facilities. They have everything that you want. It's just not interesting. It just lacks that pizzazz. And then especially with Prudential Center, because as you can see, that second-tier seating goes up into almost like a third deck of seating, which is just horrible on the sidelines. And as you can see, it's not always set up primarily for basketball for Seton Hall. So the court there just looks bad because it's sitting on top of an ice rink. Exterior, though, has been updated the last couple years, but it is nothing that interesting, to be honest. As you can see, they do have bigger crowds here sometimes. And this is an older center hung video board setup that they had. You saw the updated one in the beginning, but I think it still leaves some room to improve, especially if you're going to host the Devils, which is a relevant enough NHL franchise. And to round out our list here, we have Capital One Arena, home of Georgetown. Opened in 1997, capacity of 20,035. Also the home of the Capitals and the Wizards. So again, pro-style arena. One of the worst seating layouts in terms of a professional indoor arena in the United States, in my opinion. So that definitely leaves some room for improvement, and it's just showing its age from 1990, being built in 1997. But a nice big capacity. I don't hate the center hung video board setup, but I think it just leaves some room to be desired, because it should have 4 huge jumbotrons on each side instead of this weird setup they have going on. That court design for Georgetown does look good in this photo, though. And overall, perfectly serviceable, has good, pro-style amenities, so you can't complain about that. But again, nothing interesting. I do like the way that Capital One Arena just blends into the street almost in DC, but it's really nothing that interesting. And again, I couldn't have a Google Earth photo of this one because, DC, Virginia area, just doesn't like it. Military stuff or whatever. Not sure what we'd do as civilians with that information, but I'm sure there's bad people overseas who'd love it, so I'm not one to speak about that. But overall, exterior on Capital One Arena is nice, but I'll go over this in another video whenever I do NBA or NHL arenas, I'm sure. And here you can see a little bit older photo. It's hard to find a photo of a big crowd at Capital One Arena for Georgetown. They do play in another arena sometimes, so maybe I should have included that, but I just wanted to show it here because the other arenas, really, they don't play there often, and it's old and small, and it's maybe less interesting than Capital One Arena. But again, guys, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. I enjoyed making it quite a bit. Hope you're enjoying this whole series on D1 college basketball arenas. Please check out my other videos if that kind of thing interests you. And if you have any questions or suggestions, please leave a suggestion down in the comment section below. I'll try my best to get back to you or even make a video about it. So guys, I'm going to continue working on this series, and then I'm looking at men's football teams or men's football facilities in college and in the NFL, and then probably some baseball facilities too here, pro and college. So keep an eye out for that coming out in the next couple weeks here or so. And obviously I've been posting quite a bit in the last week, so keep an eye out for that as well. But again, guys, please leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.